Alright, so this is my cat. Sorry, she's just gonna be sleeping in the back. I don't really know what to say during this presentation, but basically in my paper I covered 3 different stories. I did Inferno, Dante's Inferno, I did Ezra Pound's In a Station of the Metro, and then I did T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. And I kind of went and I talked about how each of them inspired each other. Ezra Pound took inspiration from Dante Alighieri. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then obviously, if some of you know, Ezra Pound inspired T.S. Eliot, and T.S. Eliot really looked up to Ezra Pound, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. And Ezra Pound actually helped edit T.S. Eliot's Wasteland and was really a part of that, and T.S. Eliot actually dedicated The Wasteland to Ezra Pound after it was finished because of all of his work. And he actually said something like the one true writer or the greatest writer or something with his dedication to it. But I really found sorry, I have my computer right in front of me. I really found a connection between them, how they all kind of talk about the underworld or hell. Obviously Dante's Inferno is a direct version of hell, how it's a dream where he's going through these 9 circles of hell and the process between each of them, what they all mean and what they all did for him. And then in The Wasteland, it's about I found the mourning of either the past culture or something for T.S. Eliot. There was the mourning for this young woman mourning her youth and everything like that. And then there was a mourning for this sailor in the ocean, how each of them kind of died in a sense, and how society has died, and we're mourning the loss of the old way. And then Ezra Pound's was actually not a direct link. It was more of like a hidden meaning of hell that I found, and I really thought that was interesting, and that's why I chose this topic. Because we obviously discussed it in class, and we found out that the word apparitions was for ghosts, and I kind of thought that it was Ezra Pound seeing these either past himself or like from his childhood or adolescence or even the adulthood as he got older. I found that he was kind of maybe possibly mourning his past self, or even these ghosts were people of his past, people that he had once known, people he had once cared about or regretted not fully caring about, I had found. And they all kind of, each 3 of these stories, poems, whatever you want to call them, I kind of go back and forth between the 2 words throughout my paper. They all talk about nature or creatures. They all have something within them. Inferno kind of talks about a lot more creatures, and there's some natural elements in there. Ezra Pound, obviously we saw in class the 2 lines, the second line is straight nature reference, with petals on a wet black bough, petals, and we from flowers, and then we talked about in class the bough being like a tree limb, I think. And then Wasteland actually is, well, land. Talks a lot about, I found water references throughout each part of the story. And then it went into the sailor part with the ocean and how the current kind of ripped like him apart, I think was the whole thing. But yeah, I found that obviously these don't directly relate to each other, but I found subtle references throughout that all kind of worked with one another. And yeah, sorry this presentation kind of isn't the best, but I thought the topic was very interesting, and it was really, really interesting to read about. They all kind of have a little bit of correlation between them all. Yeah, so yeah, thanks.